We're here on the grounds of the National Capital Bible Reading Marathon. We're coming into the home stretch, and as is so often the case, we meet new friends. And this is Leon Siu from Honolulu, Hawaii, who has just finished reading, I think it was, Matthew 16, out of Hawaiian. This is a Hawaiian language Bible, and you read that whole 16th chapter, and it was such a beautiful sound. But Leon, you have a very interesting ministry in Hawaii.
That's right.
Tell us about that.
Well, first of all, I want to express my aloha to you and for all the work that you're doing here in Washington.
Thank you.
And we actually run very parallel paths. About 20 years ago, an organization called Christian Voice of Hawaii started up in Hawaii, and I've been the director ever since. And the idea and the object is to inform and keep informed pastors and Christian leaders and the Christian community in general about issues that are going on within the community that we should pay attention to and perhaps get involved in.
And certainly pray about and
That's right.
Engage in the political process.
That's correct, yes. And over the years, we've been successful in a number of projects and efforts, and particularly in just getting people mobilized so that they will pray and that they will take their votes to the ballot box and things like that. So
and these are Christians of all denominations
Correct.
And traditions,
Yes.
and even non-Christians working together with Christians.
That's right. We set out to make this really wide open to the community of faith. Anybody who believes in God or even has a moral basis in which to stand is welcome to participate with us. And we set an agenda, we set up standards in which we want to maintain, and those who agree with us can certainly join in.
And one of those big issues for you was the question of same-sex marriage.
That's correct.
Which many people on the continent don't realize how close you came.
Right, and how close the rest of the continent came to legalizing same-sex marriage.
And there's a wonderful story behind that of how many people work together and across all kinds of religious lines.
Right. Now, the issue began in the late 80s, at the same time that Christian Voice of Hawaii was formed, 1987, in fact. And we anticipated at that point that the initial efforts of the gay rights movement, or the homosexual rights movement, was to just basically gain recognition or gain some kind of foothold. But we recognized that this was going to also open the door to things like adoption and same-sex marriage. So we started in planning, laying down the groundwork, anticipating that eventually this would challenge us. So in 1990, sure enough, some couples had gone ahead and applied for same-sex marriage licenses. The state denied them. They took it to court, and the court said there was no law in Hawaii that they could use to deny same-sex marriage. So basically, the courts in Hawaii legalized same-sex marriage. But we took exception to that, and we had started a campaign to change this, that is, to change the law so that it would reflect the people's will as far as a definition of marriage.
And in fact, you were successful in doing that.
Right, in 1998.
But you told me it took a little more than just the Christian community.
Oh, yes.
In order to defeat that and to preserve traditional marriage, it took all kinds working.
What we did is we took the offensive. Rather than saying we're just going to stop same-sex marriage, we decided we would define what marriage is. And we would define it in the Constitution of Hawaii itself so that the courts could not meddle with it. So we got a constitutional amendment passed, but it took years of working with the entire community, with everyone. And it took at first get people aware that this was indeed a threat to family and a threat to our society. Because most people were looking at the issue as, well, if people want to get married, that's up to them. But we needed to raise the awareness of people. So it took all the faith communities, the Mormons, the evangelicals, the Catholics, everyone working together.
And you said
the Jews,
even
Muslims
were working with you,
yeah.
And so it was an entirely community effort. And so you not only preserved the sanctity of marriage, but you also promoted what marriage is all about.
Correct.
And by putting it in the Constitution, you made it permanent.
We appealed to all the ethnic societies, saying, isn't marriage sacred and holy to you? And aren't these your standards too? And we can work together on this. And we sponsored several sort of quasi-educational types of events. It wasn't directed directly at same-sex marriage. It was directed at preserving family.
What a wonderful...
It took years.
That was a positive way to do all this. it was ingenious. I think it was the genius of God working
Yes,
through all
absolutely.
of you. Well, Leon, thank God
Thank
for
you so much.
Please be assured of our prayers. Folks, find out more about what this man is doing in Hawaii, and when you're there, check him out. We're so grateful to God that we're partnered together. We found each other, and I hope
Yes.
it leads to us working together in many endeavors. We're going to give you a link so you can find out more about Christian Voice and more about Leon and his ministry. Leon Siu, thank you for
Aloha.
talking with us.